Constitution was created by people who wanted to uphold slavery and sought to only give rights to vote to not only white men, but rich land-owning white men. Slavery removed the rights of black men and women from the autonomy of their bodies, so it's no surprise, really, that Justice Samuel Alito's getting fired. I think it's important to understand that these institutions of capitalism have always been about controlling people's bodies. But for a conservative judge to register his disdain for the court decision of some supporters have been motivated by desire to suppress the size of African American populations, it is beyond dispute that Roe has had the demographic effect. A highly disproportionate percentage of aborted fetuses are black, is what he said. Alito would have you think that Roe is the reason, not mass incarceration, not because although black women have the most advanced degrees, they have the national wealth of less than $10. 2 million women pushed out of the workforce in the last 2 years due to this pandemic. Undoubtedly, disproportionately black. Not because of places like in Chicago, the tale of two cities has historically been divided on a racial basis. Due to historical practices of last hired and first fired. Tell me why, in the richest country in history, why we have the highest maternal mortality rate, with black women being 2.5 times more likely to die giving birth than white women, and 3 times more likely to die than Hispanic women. Am I supposed to believe that he cares about us now? No! If you were to look back, just 2 short but long pandemic years, almost exactly to the George Floyd struggle, we can't rely on the courts or these elections. The guilty charge we got for the murder of George Floyd, the guilty charge we got for the murder of Laquan McDonald came from movement building. And we cannot wait till November for promises that never come. We must realize that the same people that are fighting to prevent abortion actions are also fighting to keep resources away from our children and us, like healthcare, like education, like affordable housing, like green spaces, like healthy and culturally appropriate food, and instead are investing their money in the militarization of the police, incarceration, and controlling production. Our struggle for women's liberation needs to go beyond the question of actions of free, safe, and legal abortions. This ban and others like it will impact poor and working class people the most, imposing desperation on top of an already desperate housing crisis and child care crisis. We need a mass struggle for free, excellent reproductive care, including universal child care, rent control, and high-quality publicly owned housing. We need an end to healthcare profiteering and an immediate transition to Medicare for all. A socialist struggle has to take up the struggle against racism, transphobia, and terror against immigrants, as all forms of oppression serve only to divide working class people from one another. That's right. Fighting for a multiracial, multi-gender mass movement is the one that one wrote. A mass movement is what we need to defend it. A mass movement is what we need to protect it, expand on it, and a mass movement is what's necessary to create the society we need, in my opinion, a socialist society. That's right! We're up here on Saturday at 12, and then at 3 o'clock we'll be in Logan Square talking about an action conference so we can figure out how do we win this movement, how do we build across cities, across countries, across the world to fight for not just women's rights, but the rights of autonomy of all human beings. Thank you.
Ho, ho.
Build a movement to defend Roe. Build a movement to defend Roe.
Thank you. My name is Chang. I'm a member of Socialist Alternative here in Chicago. I'm also a nursing student at UNC. I want to thank y'all for coming out today. Yesterday's leak revealed that the Supreme Court intends to uphold the Mississippi law that bans abortion after 15 weeks. 70% of Americans oppose the overturn of Roe v. Wade, and support for abortion is higher than it was when we won Roe in 1973. And that was under a conservative-packed Supreme Court with Nixon in the presidency. The majority needs to take the streets now to defend Roe and expand abortion rights.
Yeah.
While the state of Illinois has legalized abortion, it's not an impossibility that we could lose access to this care in the future. We cannot rely on NARA now or Planned Parenthood to build the movement we need. Similarly today, the Democratic Party wants nothing to do with building a movement to defend abortion rights. The Democratic Party is allergic to movements of working people because the Democratic Party serves the interests of the capitalist class. Instead, the Democrats have a cynical strategy around the abortion struggle. Any mobilization around defending Roe organized by the Democrats and the liberal women's groups will ultimately funnel into people to the polls for the midterms, not toward a movement. And rather than mobilizing to defeat these attacks, they will double down on lesser evilism and appeal to or blackmail people into voting for the Democrats in the midterms and again in 2024.
Ooh.
We know this superficial electoral approach is a dead end. Workers don't win games unless the capitalist class feels threatened by a mass movement. And to build such a movement, the working class must assert its political independence from the capitalist class. We need an independent working class party that will not shy away from class struggle, but will instead use its platform and resources to fight precisely for demands like defending and extending abortion rights, not just talking or tweeting about it. I want to return once more to the cynical strategy of the Democratic Party because y'all, we're going to hear all kinds of crap from them. Our critique isn't just socialist rhetoric, it's plain facts. Here's President Biden's very own response to yesterday's leak. Quote, "We will be ready when the ruling is issued." I'm wrapping up. He's not using his platform to mobilize a movement. He's just waiting for it to be official. Well, we're not going to wait, are we?
No.
He then calls for the election of pro-choice officials in November. Well, we voted for pro-choice Democrats in the past, and this is what it's gotten us: an abandonment of Roe, an abandonment of mass movements, an abandonment of the working class, an abandonment of women that Democrats don't deliver. So we're not going to wait, are we?
No.
We're going to build a mass movement so that this horrible decision never sees the light of day. A movement that won't rest until abortion is free and legal, until abortion is enshrined in a national single-payer healthcare system guaranteed to all,
Yep.
until